What's up guys? So the video of today, I made 4 setup whereby I invest that I will try to trade them and see if ever we can capitalize on. As I mark up my setups on GBP USD, GBP JPY and GBP CAD, also gold if I'm not mistaken. So guys, today I won't be long, as I will do also a recap at the end of this video, but for now we will check if ever there's any trade that we can do for today. On GBP JPY I almost traded the whole week, but let's see GBP CAD. But there's news, and the news are around about exactly on the time which I normally trade on. As I stated, I trade London session, and London session do its move at 10 a.m. in South African time. So in South African time it's 10 a.m. then in Eastern time it's 3. Also I'll check GBP USD. GBP USD, also there's news exactly on the time which I normally trade. Let's see if ever we can get a trade for today. So this is what I see on GBP USD. Let's go to 30 minutes time frame. We are on buyers, also on 1 hour buyers starting to dominate. Even on 4 hour buyers are also dominating. As you can see, even on USD I was trading. It's only daily time frame where sellers are dominating. So let's go back to 15 minutes. So on 15 minutes I'll just put support level here. Also I'll put a support level here. Let me exit, and let me put a resistance level. The resistance level will be here. The reason I put this resistance level here, I go back, guys, I say here. So here it shows me that the market was ranging, then it breaks out and go for sell. So that part on its own, even here you can see it retests. Oh no, it didn't retest. So even here when it shoot up, it's stuck in between of this resistance level and support level, and then it continue to go up. So here I'll just put these two level structure, which is support and resistance. Going back to structure which we see the market. So I'll fix this trend line, and there's a lot of news here on USD. Let's see on, okay, before we move to another pair, these are the support level structure and this is the resistance level structure. So as soon it breaks this trend line, I will scalp for sell until this trend line. But if it breaks up or above this support level structure, I will go for buy. It will be a continuation. So for now we will check on 30 minutes time frame and 1 hour. Okay, 30 minutes, let me see, we are on buyer's market. Even on 1 hour, 4 hour we are on buyer's market. Also daily we are on seller's market. So it's similar to GBP JPY, but this is the setup that I have for GBP USD. Let's see GBP Australian dollar, which is GBP odd. So on GBP odd we are on buyers in 15 minutes, we are on sellers, but buyers are closely to jump in on 30 minutes time frame. 1 hour we are on sellers market, and also there's news. You know guys, I don't trade news, so meaning I'll just do the setup for GBP USD, but we will see if we can capitalize today to trade it, because yesterday I trade GBP JPY and GBP CAD. That's where I just got one of my trades. But I think GBP JPY is the one which gave us a lot of money, so a lot of pips if I may say. So it's GBP odd. On the daily time frame, sellers are dominating. On 4 hour, sellers are dominating. On 1 hour, sellers are dominating. 30 minutes, sellers are the one who's still dominating, but buyers are closely to jump in. And on 15 minutes, buyers are only dominating on 15 minutes. So this, guys, it's been maybe 2 weeks now. GBP odd was, sellers were dominating for 2 weeks. So here I'll just put these two trend lines, which I think the market should, so if the market breaks out, meaning it will be doing a double bottom, so it's a W, but here it was still ranging, then it will go up, then it will take for buy until here, guys, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, until here, because you can see it touches here, then it went up before it breaks out. Even here it touched. So there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 touches, meaning this is the right zone where we should take profit. Also, how many pips will be there? So it's 22 pips. It's good for the day. For scalping, this are a lot of pips, 22.4 pips. And also it has just broke the trend line, so as soon this candlestick closes above this trend line, then I will take for buy, but I will just scalp until here because sellers are dominating from daily to 30 minutes. But I think now buyers are starting to get in on 30 minutes, so from 1 hour to daily time frame, sellers are dominating. And remember, I told you guys, bigger time frames are the one that moves the market. So if ever sellers are dominating from 1 hour to daily, then meaning you need to scalp a little bit for buy, because it might come and shoot down also. And let me see the price action. So the price action, it was a double bottom here, and it went up on daily, so it doesn't, or and 4 hour, it doesn't give me a sign for price action. Then you see the candlestick just closed above the trend line, so let's see, this is where I will go for buy. Okay, but remember, I trade at 10 a.m. in South African time. So on GBP JPY, the market has already made its move, so we can't trade this one, I think, because even on 30 minutes, sellers are dominating, 1 hour buyers are still dominating, and 4 hour buyers are still dominating, daily buyers are dominating, guys. So as I stated here, I'll just put a trend line. So if the market breaks this trend line, then I'll go for buy, because bigger time frames are the one who are handling the pair. So bigger time frames are the one who will determine where the market is going. So from 1 hour to daily, buyers are dominating, and 30 minutes and 15 minutes, sellers are still there, but I don't think they will dominate until here. So I don't see any trade for the continuation for sell on this pair, which is GBP JPY. So I'll wait for it to break. If it breaks out before the news, I'll take it for buy. But if it happens that it breaks this trend line whereby the news has already started, then I won't trade, guys, because I don't trade news. I won't lie. Then on GBPK, let me try to put a trend line here, also another trend line here. So on 15 minutes, buyers are dominating. On GBP 30 minutes, buyers are dominating, and it was a double bottom. As you can see, it made that W, so it can go up. On 1 hour, sellers are dominating. 4 hour, sellers are dominating. Daily, sellers are dominating. Okay, guys, without of wasting any time, let me check gold. Okay, gold, I think we can trade it, but the market has already done its move, guys, so I'm not quite sure if we can get, because we are supposed to enter here or on the second candlesticks, which retested the trend line. Also, it closes up below the 15-movie average. I believe you guys were busy asking yourself what this line means. So this line means if it's green, then buyers are dominating, but if it's red, sellers are starting to dominate on that time frame. So on 30 minutes, buyers are dominating. 1 hour, buyers are dominating. 4 hour, buyers are dominating, and 15 minutes, buyers are dominating also. So here, guys, I was going to scalp this trade because it's already gone until here. So which will be how many pips? Let's see, 43 pips. I think I'll have to inform you how you need to calculate pips when it comes to gold. So I will be scalping for 43 pips, which is a lot, just to scalp for the day, because I'm a daily trader or a scalper. I don't do swing trading. But let's see Gbp USD and GBP odd. So odd, I think I was supposed to put this trend line here. think I was supposed to put this trend line here. So eventually, as soon it breaks out of this trend line above, then we're going for buy. But if it breaks down, then we're going for sell. And remember, on GBP, sellers are dominating, and it was dropping since last week. So I think Gbp Usd and JPY also cared, or gold. Yeah, one of these four pairs I will trade them. So it's GBP USD, GBP CAD, GBP JPY, and gold. But remember, if ever the market moves whereby it's time for me to trade, because I trade at 10 a.m. in South African time, then I won't do any trade. Then I will wait for gold if ever it comes back to go for buy, because here it's already gone, so we can't capitalize on this. On gold pair, so we can't take it because it's already left. And guys, let me give you just a recap from this week. So on the 22nd, which I think it was Monday, so I scalped for gold. So I put a trend line here. Then what was the time? It was 9:45 in the morning. So it breaks out, then it reaches the trend line, but I didn't enter the trade because the resistance level was still holding the market. So as soon it breaks on this one and the green candlestick, I waited. Then when it reaches the resistance level, which becomes the support, then that's where I caught a sell. Then the next candlestick came to retest the 50 moving average, but it closes underneath the resistance level, which becomes the support. Then the next candle shoot down for sell. That's how I capitalized. Then also here we were going to capitalize if ever I was still on willing to trade, but I didn't want to stay long. Even yesterday this was the trade, but however I didn't saw it. This one, guys, as you can see, I'm marking it up in front of you guys, so I don't want to cheat, because if I cheat, I'll be not cheating on you guys but on me also as well. So this was going to break out, then the retest, and go for buy. And what was the time? It was late in the afternoon, so that's why I didn't saw this trade. And also on CAD, so on CAD yesterday, it was yesterday or it was the day before? Yeah, it was yesterday. No, it was day before. So day before I caught this trade. In the morning before I left home, I just put this trend line on GBP CAD because I knew the market already made his move, and I knew on some other time frame, even when you go on 1 hour, you can see this double top, so obviously it will create that M. So I knew that we are going for sell, and on 1 hour, here's that double bottom, guys. Then on 4 hour, it doesn't go up nicely, but I knew that we will go for sell on GBP CAD. That's why I stated that yesterday and day before I trade GBP JPY GBP CAD, which gave us how many dips? It was, because I think I took my profit here, so it was 69.6 pips, but it depends with what size that I'm using. So I think it was enough money, but this was a continuation for the whole day. Then yesterday, as you can see, exactly at 10 o'clock a.m. the market continued to drop, but already I was in a profit because I took my trade before 10 a.m. because I knew the setup that I did was already engaged with the market, so I couldn't wait for 10 a.m. and here, okay. Then on GBP JPY, I capitalized. This was the market. Here I just put this on my phone, so I can also trade with my phone, guys. So I saw this yesterday. I saw this. So this was the trade that I saw yesterday on JPY. This was the setup that I saw, because I've already knew that day before we capitalize on sell, and even day before exactly at 10 it break out of wedge and came to retest the resistance level, which becomes the support. Then that's where I caught myself. Then the next candlestick was green and it acted as if it goes for profit. Then it came back. Then the last candlestick was the one that came back to test resistance level or the trend line. Yeah, it came back to test also the trend line, then it shoot down for sell. So already I was in negative for how many pips? Maybe 10 or 5 pips if I'm not mistaken. But on profit, that's we started to, and I took it here. I still remember I took it here, guys, because it was 75.1 pips. It was day before yesterday, remember that. So guys, I think this is what was the recap. Okay, yesterday I took this one. Also it was JPY, guys. Then how many pips? It was 74.3 pips. Okay, and remember I stated the bigger the lot size, the more you get profit. So as you can see, the market now has break this trend line on Gbp Usd. As soon as I close this market, I will go for sell, because already it will go for sell until this trend line. I will just scalp for pips. And the recap here, day before I also caught Gbp Usd exactly also at 10 a.m. Comment down below if ever you are inspired by this session, because London session do its move. Look, even here when we caught for buy, it shoot up exactly at 10 a.m. in South African time, and day before it shoot for sell exactly at 10 a.m. So that's why I prefer to trade London sessions, guys. And how many pips were here? Let me close the session color, because already on this small green candlestick, that's where I did my entries. Then the next candle came back to test the other trend line, then it came back to shoot for sell. So this one I was in profit. How many pips? 57 pips. It's good for the day because I'm a daily trader or a scalp. Yeah, I think that's the recap, because yesterday I didn't trade it because it was busy ranging, so I couldn't get any setup. So here it's about to test this resistance level, which now it's a support level, and it will go for sell. That's why I took. In the morning, guys, I made setups on 4 pairs, as we are about to see the outcome. So basically I was willing to trade USD, but however we capitalize on all those 4 pairs. So I'll just show you now the results, and also calculate on yourself how many pips I caught. When you add all these pips which I've capitalized on these 4 pairs, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Let's jump into it. So guys, I'll give you a recap for the trades of today early in the morning. We are on Gbp USD. So on Gbp USD, I stated that I will put the first trend line, and this was the second trend line. Then I stated as soon it breaks this trend line and came to test the resistance level, which becomes the support level, I will go in for sell. Then it continues to come and break this second trend line and went through, which was the continuation of a sell. So let's see if ever it was. So basically guys, it was the London session. So the London session started while I was already in profit. So this was how many pips, because I didn't just take profit when I arrived at this second trend line. So we were on profit while the market or London session was starting. You see this white block, that's where I trade, which is the London session. Hence I stated even day before the market started to shoot for sell exactly at 10 o'clock in the morning. So that's why I stated that here already it was retesting the trend line, also the resistance level, which becomes the support level. So I took my entry for sell. Then exactly at 10 a.m. I was already on profit, so I just keep on maintaining my stop loss. I didn't take my profit on the second trend line as I stated in the morning. So I just put my stop loss here on this last candlestick before it touches the second trend line. Then as soon it breaks the second trend line and other candlestick which follows, which is the green candlestick, let me zoom in so you can see this candlestick. This is the one I am talking about. So as soon this candlestick came back to test the second trend line, that's where I put my stop loss. Then it was a continuation for sell. So for Gbp USD, let's see how many pips we caught. So this was my entry until, okay, I remember this was my take profit. So this was 42 pips, guys. Let me show you in a bigger view. So this was my entry. So this was 42 pips, as you can see, which I got on Gbp USD. Then on GP, or I remember I didn't trade it because it was busy going up and down. It was coming out, then it go back to this channel. So I also going to do future video whereby I will teach people how to avoid being trapped in the channel, because most of the people you might find them trading on the channel, and that's where they blow up their accounts. So that's why I didn't trade GBP or then GBP JPY. In the morning I just put this trend line, and I told you guys that as soon as it breaks breaks out, I'll go for buy. And I even stated that I won't hold it for long because higher time frames were the one who was controlling the market. As I stated, from 1 hour to daily, those are bigger time frames since I'm a scalper or a day trader. But to swing traders, it doesn't mean anything to them. So that's why I just caught this. How many pips were here? So this was the breakout from the support level, which becomes the resistant level. So it was how many pips? 41 pips. And remember, I always say the bigger the lot size, the bigger the profit. But you need to increase the lot size if ever you have already doubled the amount which you have started trading with. So on GBP JPY, that's the only entry which I got. It was 41 pips. Then on GBP CAD, also I told you guys there were 4 setups which I did in the morning. It was GBP JPY, GBP CAD, and GBP USD and gold. So GBP USD and GBP JPY, I took some profits. Also on gold, as soon it breaks out on this down trend line, I got it for sale. But it started testing this trend line for 2 times because these 2 candlesticks, see the first green candlestick, it came to test this trend line but it couldn't break in, so you can go back to this channel. But the second candlestick, that's where I was already taking my entry for sale. And how many pips we got? Because even on gold, I was busy managing my stop loss, so I was busy trailing my stop loss. As soon this candlesticks already moved and the other candlesticks will start, I'll decrease my stop loss or close those profits which I've already kept. And this was how many pips? 46 pips. Yeah, 46 pips. So because it's 46.0. So basically, I'll check when did it start to move. Was it already on London session or not? So it was exactly on the London session. That's where the market started to go for sale. But already I was, let me see, exactly at 9:45 in the South African time, because in the Eastern time it's 2:45. So I've stated 3 o'clock in the Eastern time. On the South African time it's 10 in the morning. So that I do my entry for sell and I scalp until 45 in the Eastern time. So as I stated, those were 46 pips. Remember, we have already managed to dominate for 3 entries, which is GBP CAD, GBP JPY, and GBP USD. So let's go for gold now, which is the last. So gold, I've stated in the morning when I do this setup. So it was a wedge, and while I was doing the setup, I told you guys that it didn't move, so we can't accumulate on this entry. So I just watched it while it was trailing for sale, and I see that this was take off. Hence, it touches and break out and continue for small pips for sale. And let me see if we got it early in the morning. How many pips were? 46 pips also on gold. Hope you are inspired by this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We always say hustlers don't compete, we dominate. Peace.